Too many people enter relationships thinking another person will complete them. They say things like, I just need someone to make me happy, or I feel empty without love. But let me tell you something. If you are not whole before a relationship, you will not be whole in one. You will only bring your emptiness, your brokenness, and your insecurities into that union, and instead of building something strong, you will drain the very thing you hoped would give you life. You see, when two incomplete people come together, they do not form a whole, they form a disaster. Because instead of love, what they are truly seeking is validation. Instead of companionship, they are looking for someone to fill their void. But no human being was designed to complete another person. That is too much weight for anyone to carry. And that is why so many relationships are built on expectations that were never realistic in the first place. Before you share your life with someone else, you must first master the art of being alone. You must learn to be comfortable with yourself, to enjoy your own company, to find purpose in your solitude, because until you do, you will always seek from others what only you can give yourself. People spend so much time looking for the one, but they never take the time to become the one. They chase after love, but they do not chase after growth. They long for connection, but they avoid self-discovery. And that is why they keep finding themselves in cycles of toxic, unfulfilling relationships, because they never took the time to become whole. You must become so content in your own presence that relationship is not a necessity, but an addition. Because wholeness means you are not waiting for someone to fix you. It means you have already built your identity, you have already cultivated your gifts, you have already discovered your value, and when you have done that, you are no longer desperate for love, you are selective about it. You do not settle for just anybody because you know that not everybody deserves access to your life. You do not lower your standards out of loneliness, because you understand that being alone is far better than being with the wrong person. The most dangerous thing you can do is attach your happiness to another human being. People are unstable, people change, people leave, and if your wholeness is dependent on them, then the moment they walk away, so does your sense of worth. But when you are complete on your own, when you know who you are and what you carry, no one can take that from you. Many people avoid being alone because they are afraid of facing themselves. But let me tell you something, solitude is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It will reveal things about you that no relationship ever will. It will show you your strengths and expose your weaknesses. It will teach you discipline, focus, and clarity. And when you embrace it, you will walk into relationships not as someone who needs to be fixed, but as someone who is already whole. There is a reason why every great leader, every visionary, every person who has ever left an impact on this world understood the power of solitude, because nothing of true significance is ever birthed in a crowd. Mastery is not developed in the noise of social circles, in the distractions of constant company, or in the endless need to be entertained. Mastery is forged in the quiet, in the stillness, in the moments when you are left alone with your thoughts, your discipline, and your purpose. People fear solitude because they mistake it for loneliness. But solitude is not loneliness, it is focus, it is elevation. It is the process that separates those who wander through life from those who take charge of it. A person who cannot be alone is a person who will never truly know themselves. Because self-discovery does not happen in the presence of others. It happens in the moments when you are stripped of everything external and forced to face the truth of who you are. Every major transformation in life happens in solitude. When a seed is planted, it does not grow in the open. It is buried in the darkness, hidden away beneath the soil, unseen by the world. And in that hidden place, it is being prepared, strengthened, and developed. Before it ever breaks through the surface, it first establishes deep roots. The same is true for you. If you want to grow into something strong, something powerful, something unshakable, you must first allow yourself to be planted in solitude. You must embrace the hidden seasons, the times when no one sees your progress, when no one applauds your work, when no one validates your journey, because it is in those moments that your foundation is built. The most successful people in history understood this. They withdrew from the crowds. They separated themselves from distractions. and they committed to their craft in isolation. The writer who produces timeless works does not do so in the middle of noise. He isolates himself, shuts out the world, and immerses himself in his thoughts. The athlete who dominates his field does not achieve mastery in the midst of constant socializing. He retreats, trains in silence, and disciplines his body in private. The inventor, the philosopher, the leader, they all know that the secret to greatness is not found in the company of many, but in the focus of solitude. But many people resist this process. They crave constant interaction, endless entertainment, and continuous validation from others. And because of that, they never develop the discipline necessary for mastery. They are too busy being distracted to build anything lasting. They are too consumed with the opinions of others to hear their own thoughts. They are too afraid of being alone to ever tap into their true potential. Solitude is not a punishment, it is a privilege. It is the place where clarity is found, where vision is refined, where ideas are birthed. It is in solitude that you break free from the expectations of the world and tap into the depths of your own mind. It is where you learn the value of self-discipline, where you master your emotions, where you develop the mental toughness required to achieve greatness. The person who embraces solitude does not need external motivation. They are driven from within. They do not seek approval. They are secure in their purpose. They do not depend on others for direction. They have learned to guide themselves. The truth is, most people will never achieve mastery because they are unwilling to separate themselves from the crowd. They are afraid to be alone with their thoughts, afraid to face the work required for true growth. But those who desire more, those who refuse to settle, those who are determined to rise above mediocrity, they understand that solitude is not something to be avoided. It is something to be pursued. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that a relationship is the key to happiness. They convince themselves that without someone by their side, they are incomplete, unfulfilled, and lacking something essential. But the truth is, no relationship was ever meant to be the foundation of your life. It was meant to complement it. The moment you make a relationship a necessity instead of an addition, you place a burden on another person that they were never designed to carry. When you believe that love is the missing piece of your life, you begin searching for it from a place of lack. You are not choosing a partner based on shared values, mutual purpose, or genuine connection. You are choosing them based on the void you want them to fill. And when you do that, you are not looking for love, you are looking for emotional survival. You are looking for someone to make you feel valuable, to give you a sense of identity, to take responsibility for your happiness. But here is the danger. What happens when that person leaves? What happens when they fail to meet your expectations? If your sense of worth is tied to their presence, then the moment they walk away, you lose yourself. A relationship should be an overflow of two whole people coming together, not two broken people using each other as a crutch. Love was never meant to be a rescue mission. It was never meant to be an escape from loneliness. It was never meant to be the thing that gives you purpose. A relationship should be like adding icing to an already baked cake. It enhances what is already there, but it is not the substance itself. Too many people enter relationships expecting the other person to fix their insecurities, to give them direction, to provide them with a reason to wake up in the morning. But if you need another person to validate your existence, then you have already lost your identity. When you treat a relationship as a necessity, you compromise, you lower your standards, you tolerate things you should never accept simply because you are afraid of being alone. You settle for mistreatment, for disrespect, for a half-hearted love, all because you believe being with someone, anyone, is better than being by yourself. But when you understand that a relationship is an addition and not a necessity, your entire perspective changes. You no longer beg for attention. You no longer accept less than what you deserve. You no longer see singleness as a curse, but as a season of preparation, because a whole person does not need a relationship to feel valuable. They bring value wherever they go. People often think that love is about finding someone who makes them happy. But happiness is not something another person can give you. It is something you must cultivate within yourself. If you do not know how to be joyful on your own, no relationship will ever be enough. You will always be chasing the next high, the next grand gesture, the next validation, trying to fill a hole that can only be filled by self-love and purpose. True happiness does not come from another person's affection. It comes from knowing who you are, from fulfilling your destiny, from walking confidently in your own identity. This is why so many relationships fail, because people enter them looking for completion rather than companionship. They expect another human being to be their everything, to meet every emotional need, to provide what they should be developing within themselves. But a relationship is not a hospital, and your partner is not your healer. If you are broken before love, you will be broken in love. If you lack direction before love, you will be lost in love. If you are insecure before love, you will become dependent in love. But when you are whole, when you know your worth, when you have built a life of meaning on your own, then and only then can a relationship be a true addition. A relationship should be a partnership of two individuals who are already walking in purpose, not two people desperately clinging to each other out of fear of being alone. It should be a union that enhances your life, not one that defines it. It should be something that brings joy, not something that holds your identity hostage. The strongest relationships are not built on neediness, desperation, or dependency. They are built on mutual respect, shared vision, and the understanding that two complete people coming together will always be stronger than two incomplete people trying to fill each other's voids. So hear me today. If you cannot find joy in solitude, you will never find peace in a relationship. Love yourself first. Discover your purpose first. Master your life first. Because a person who has learned to live alone is never desperate for company. They are prepared for greatness. Would you like any refinements to match the tone more closely?